All right.
Maybe in another great discussion we will tell us the filters and what information is appropriate for what age,
Okay.
and maybe that time we will learn more.
All right.
Now, is that information, age, a factor in the change of needs? Have the
Yes.
needs changed?
Yes.
Okay. So what needs have changed for the boy child?
What needs have changed for the boy child? I should say the needs when we are babies is different when we become toddlers, when we become when we are the active age, then when we become adolescents, when we become young adults, and finally when we are finally called adults, not young adults.
Yes.
So when we are young, let's say you're a baby from 0 day, no, sorry, not 0 day, but from day 1 to 9 months, all you think about is your mouth. You want to suckle milk. Every toy you have is put in your mouth. Yeah, my food, my toy, my, everything is my. So you come now to that toddler's age, whereby you want to be crawling around, you want to learn how to stand, then you start staggering, and then you can finally stand. And then you come to the active age where you're running around all the time, you want to play, you're active, you have energy.
Yes.
So even start going to school and you still have that kind of energy. So that the needs definitely change when you now hit puberty and you start thinking about your looks. I don't like this pimple, I want to comb my hair this way, maybe I should dress like this, I should speak like this, I should walk like this. So you hit adolescence and it still changes. Maybe I like tall skinny guys, or maybe I love the heavy bodied, or maybe I really love curvy women, or I like the petite ones. Then you cross to young adulthood, and here really the stress of life comes in with campus, so you now put in an environment whereby you have to control everything: the time you get out, time you come in, how you dress, how you handle your money, if you should be motivating yourself to read or not, or maybe to party and do some crack and alcohol. And then still the needs change when you finally hit adulthood. So every stage has changing needs. But now, when we come to defining maybe the boy child, I'll specifically maybe pick like the adolescent age.
Okay.
Yeah, when we have maybe now puberty coming in and a lot of excited sexual hormones and neurotransmitters.
The hormones are excited.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's say maybe they're being secreted at high levels than they were previously. Yeah, so around there. And I would say the needs there, first of all, would be maybe if at that time the parents would really have time for these boys to teach them good manners. When you wake up, first thing you do, pray, make your bed. When you make your bed, go shower, brush your teeth, then have breakfast. But if you had obviously brushed your teeth the previous night, then you would not brush in the morning, but you'd have food first and then brush the teeth. Yes. Then you go on with your day, but you start them in a neat way. See? And around that time, that's when also parents teach kids respect. This is my thing, don't touch it, it's bad. You shouldn't be how do they call it? These people whereby in Uganda they call it kwemakula. Like a guest comes home, they leave maybe their bag there, and the kids all of a sudden run, want to check what did the guest bring, stuff like that. So the parents teach them. Yes, the parents should, at this age, this is the time they teach. No, this is mommy's thing. When you want it, request them first. Ask. Yes, it's a book. I know you want it, but ask mommy if I should read it because it's mommy's book. If you might want to read it, but it's not appropriate for you or your age, or it might be good, by that time you can really not comprehend what's in it, or actually it might be good for your age, and your parent may be happy that you asked first, and they gave you the permission to read. So at this same age, this is when also parents, the way we are raised, the way the bond between the parents and the child becomes their their love language when they grow up. So
Yes.
if it is a child who was constantly petted, hugged, come back from school, daddy's back, and then you run, hug them, daddy will come back home. When they grow up, physical touch becomes their what? Their love language. If maybe when they would wake up, the first thing their mommy would tell them, oh, good morning, sweetheart, how was your night? You're handsome. So words of affirmation become their what? Their love language. So the way you bond with your kids defines how they attach with other people, defines their bonding style, if it will be ineffective or effective or defective. Decides how this kid is going, defines actually the relationships he's going to foster, whether with friends, whether with strangers, whether with church members, whether with teachers, because we've heard of parents who are called the authoritative kind of parents, when he stands and is like, this is this, no final word. Of course, they do it out of love, but what it actually brings is fear. So this child, all the time they're looking over their shoulder, maybe daddy, maybe daddy, maybe daddy. So these are the kids you find they have stage fright, they have social anxiety disorders, they can't really, maintain, express themselves. But if that issue was addressed early at an early age, it wouldn't bring issues in future relationships. So still, this is at this around the same time, this is when you teach basic things. Like this is when a father and a son have to bond more, right? But then we have had the stereotype whereby the boys have been tuned that they are not supposed to express their emotions, that they are not supposed to cry, that all the time they have to be strong. Now, I want you to actually quote me very well. The highest population in Butabika Hospital, they are men. They are not women and they are not kids. They are men. The male wards their numbers are so many. Very many. Why? Because of this same societal thing. So yesterday I was asking a friend why they find it hard to express themselves, and they're like, it could be family or society. But if at all you trained your child to always open up, not to bottle down information, or their feelings or their emotions, so they have an outlet.
What if you are the problem?
As the parent, also society. You can be in school and maybe the teacher beats you for not doing work, and then when you cry, they're like, boys don't cry, which isn't right. Boys are allowed to cry.
Yes.
They are not allowed to bottle down information. Boys are sensitive and they're humans and they're gorgeous, just like women.
Yes.
You see, the reason
they
why...
They also have tear glands.
Yes, they also have tear glands, which are actually active. And they also have emotions and feelings. You see, the good thing with women is that they have an outlet. They'll cry and get over it. That's it. They won't bottle things down, At least women, it is really hard to find, actually. As I told you, quote me well, in Butabika, the women there are very few. And the highest number is because that the thing is genetic, so it was definitely inherited, the disorders they have. Aside from these, the minor cases. But with the men, they tell you that they kept on piling and things got out of hand since they didn't have an outlet. It's not like they had someone. They do have support systems, but they are not free enough to open up. Why? Society labeled them to always be what? Be strong.
To bottle up.
Yes, to bottle up. Like even expressing your emotions. So this is now a challenge that we women are facing right now. You meet a guy, he tells you he likes you, but he's hardcore. He's not expressing anything. And then I meet someone else, right, who is vocal with his emotions, with his feelings. You really see he's in touch with himself. Now, this other guy, you'll never know if you have annoyed him or he's happy. Even when he's happy, he doesn't show because they were tuned in such a way that they're not supposed to show. So this comes back to us, right now. With the information we have and the parents should at least try to be close with these children, the boys especially, and help them open up. If the day was bad at school, let the boy talk about it. Yeah, I had a bad day. Not to come and has to smile because they were trained that way. If maybe they had a challenge and they couldn't handle it,
Yes.
let them talk about it. I mean, sometimes vulnerability is cute. I mean, leave alone only in the relationship aspect. It is also, I mean, when you allow to let yourself be vulnerable, it allows you to be in touch with your emotions. When you're in touch with your emotions, you can get a better way of channeling the negative energy, the atmosphere, whatever is eating you up, you let it out. And actually, when the pessimistic view goes away, you're allowed to be optimistic. But if at all the time, all the things you're encountering, it is negative, your mindset also changes. You see?
Yeah.
And you've heard of these people who say, why is it that problems only love me? As in, why are problems only following me? But which isn't ideally what is supposed to be happening. The thing would be that since you've been bottling up, like down, shoving down everything, there is no way you actually use positive glasses. You actually not even appreciate the small little things that would have brought meaning in your life. Even at that point, you will not let anyone in because you think maybe they want to use you, or maybe they are looking for a way to get information or get your weaknesses to use them again, to manipulate you, something like that. But the more you actually open up, you have positive energy, your friend circle may not grow, but in capabilities, it will grow, but in number it may not. Then you can know you have a few trusted friends you have around you that will come through for you anytime, because no person really wants to be around a person who is always having problems or negative energy. And plus, you learn to appreciate like the small things. So the other thing would be for the parents to help these boys foster affection and love at a tender age, that despite whatever happens, they still have lots of love to give. You still can't give out what you don't have. So be your own BFF, as in your own best friend first. If you can know your weaknesses, then you can definitely know how to, either how to be better, or maybe if you can identify your weaknesses and strengths, so you can let these strengths become stronger, maybe overshadow the weaknesses as you work on them. Also, if you are affectionate, once in a while there is that one person you meet and you wonder if they never have problems, which they actually do, they always do, but maybe they never plaster it all over their face. Why? They have learned the art to live. I mean, living doesn't have to be in having lots of money or being extremely happy. It's just your attitude towards life, that despite the challenges, well, you always have that nice outlook, like that positive outlook. And at this point, this is when you teach a child honesty, responsibility. You're growing up as a man. This is, you should be responsible for yourself, for your parents, for your siblings, for your society. So man's role starts family, school, society. They grow up with it, so that we don't have these men who impregnate, and then run away. That the kind they label as hit and run. I don't see any any responsibility in that kind of, First of all, a responsible man, you don't go for that act without weighing the pros and cons of the situation and what may come out. And we should stop bringing poverty into the world. You yourself, you cannot really take care of yourself. Why should you bring another human being who actually has, they shouldn't be suffering because of what you're doing, or that excitement that happens in 10 minutes and then they have to pay it for the rest of their lives. No, let's start having planned children. I mean, let's start planning our lives. No, even if your life doesn't follow that plan, but at least some of the things will fall through. Yes. If you want a big mansion, start right now working on it. I don't know whether through books. I hopefully think not stealing or trying to plan on how to rob Bank of Uganda, but
or to meet the
president. No, foster connections. That's why I earlier said have mentors. People that are already living the life you want. Talk to them. How did you guys get here? If it's connection, as in how it works in Uganda, foster connections. If maybe they read lots of books and